Join us on part 4 on YouTube. Welcome to part 4 on YouTube. Carry on.
Fantastic part, especially in the movies, in cinema. Lovely cameo, good old Red Skull. It's actually a different actor though, that's why his voice is a bit strange.
It's the same guy who is in The Walking Dead.
Yes,
he is the... I don't know his name in The Walking Dead, but he is one of the new breeds in The Walking Dead.
Ross McCord, is that how you say his name?
He is, one of the other guys. He's in The Walking Dead.
So it's a nice cameo. I don't think he's coming back or anything, guys. Don't get excited. But it was just a nice cameo. It made sense. It tied up some links with like the ending.
The character?
Oh, Red Skull. Sorry.
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah. So he's back, and it's really clever because again he stands there and he then explains the required sacrifice that's needed to wield this stone, to have the stone, to even get hold of it. So you can't have this stone without a sacrifice.
Sacrifice?
Sacrifice. All right, Scooby-Doo. That just fell out of your mouth, didn't it? See, that was something that Dan would have done if he's now remembered there's a microphone.
Sorry.
Fantastic.
Couldn't help it.
I've lost it.
Don't you mean Melvin Do? Sorry, I do love the Scooby-Doo reference.
Fantastic. So he's got to make a sacrifice. A soul for a soul. So this is brilliant because Gamora's now going, well, you're buggered, you don't love anything, blah, 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 you have to sacrifice something you love, gutted. Yet, for once, this bad guy, this titan, this tyrant, isn't he? And he does. He loves Gamora. There is something there. He does love her. And he has to... He says, I just can't. I'm sorry, little one. And he bloody grabs her and he throws her. And there's green blood and she's dead. Sorry, everybody. I think that is officially pre-click death number 3 of the story.
Yeah.
So, yeah. And then boom. And then what's really creepy then is as soon as he's thrown her, he does wake up in a funny dimension and he picks up the stone and then he puts it on.
In a lake, I think. In a lake or something.
Which my theory is he's inside the soul stone, or he's inside, that type of theory. So yeah, so he then can wield the soul stone. That's how he gets it. Crikey. Then we jump back to Thor reactivating the dying star. I need a handle. That's my Peter.
Another Peter Dinklage classic line. Damn it, we need a handle.
We need a handle. So we can't find the handle. So we're wielding the axe now. So obviously, he's having an upgrade. He's getting an axe. I'll go into what that's about because we'll just go comic book mad otherwise.
We've already gone for 48 minutes.
Yeah, and I'm going to drive that mad with my comic book theory. So yeah, so he needs the handle. A lovely, lovely part there. Groot literally snaps off his own arm and gives him the arm of Groot. So it's a bit more magic. I feel it's a bit more magical. So that's lovely. So now he's wielding the axe. It's fantastic. Then this jumps back now, and we're back in Wakanda. It's under a massive siege. They've bought aliens, and the Black Order's literally kicking ass. And because we're in a dome shape and stuff, it's all happening. And now we have to defend Wakanda. There's a massive fight. While Siri has to now try and extract the stone from Vision's head. So she's trying to extract the stone from Vision's head. Our lovely little Red Witch is sat there and she's protecting them. Which personally she needs to just get in the fight because she's actually really strong. But that's...
Well, I will... Okay, carry on. I'll disagree later.
So all this massive, epic, beautiful CGI... fantastic fight is happening in Wakanda. Then we're switching back to Titan, and Thanos kind of goes, so I've arrived. So he's arrived. He explains to everybody, to Strange, about the clicking of the fingers. This is repetitive. So all the way through the film, everybody talks about him clicking his fingers, which is very, very good. It's reminding us, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. And he's saying about the plan, about that he might succeed and everything else. Plus then everybody comes out. So the rest of the Guardians come out. Mantis jumps on him. He's he's under Mantis's control for a minute. They just get so close. And then Quill asks about where's Gamora, and he loses his absolute shit and sadly smacks him on the head, and Mantis loses her grip of him, and then it all goes a bit Pete Tong, and he starts throwing moons at people. So that kind of goes a bit of Pete Tong. Then we cut back to Wakanda. Our lovely little witch decides, you know what, I'm actually going to help him now because this is going really, really wrong, and I need to help out. So she decides to help. Massive fight. Again, she's throwing stuff. Lovely fight between Vision and Corvinus. Their fight is really, really good. Again, he's stabbing the crap out of him. So Vision's like really stuck. Like he's just not powerful at all with this. Black Widow and the Witch defeat Proxima Midnight, which is epic because she just gets smushed by these things that come out of the ground. They look like tank things, which is really, really good. And then Thor turns up and basically does like what Thor does best and just demolishes everybody.
The God of Lightning.
And the God of Lightning. And that's that. So that's sorted from that perspective. Then we ping back again to Titan. We have the moon fight is still going on. This is absolutely brilliant, this fight. I love this fight. It's actually quite beautiful. Like I'm a bit of a sad one. But Stark and Thanos. Stark puts up a huge fight. We have to remember this man is human under a nano shield of armour. That's all it is. And his shield is breaking in front of him. You know, he's ripping blood out of him. He does actually manage to get a little bit of blood out of Thanos, and that's actually said. Sadly, he does get stabbed, but he earns the respect of Thanos because of the fight he puts up.
Plus, as well, it is also a stab to the side, which is classic movie thing to do when you want to stab someone, but then justify them not dying, which is always a good idea in films. They do that quite a lot.
Yeah, try and hopefully miss all the vitals. Due to it looking like Tony might die because he's been stabbed, Strange does turn around and make a bargain with Thanos and says, no tricks, I'll give you the time stone for his life. And like, everybody's like, oh my god, what are you doing? And all of the Guardians come together, and I'm like, oh my god, we've just lost, because he takes the time stone and he's gone. And he goes straight to Wakanda. Thanos does. And it's literally just that kind of recognition of what the hell have you just done? Everybody's like kind of having a go at him. So then we cut back to Wakanda. Thanos now, you can just tell he's one stone away from a click now. Like he is the Braun Strowman.
He's one stone away from obesity.
Yeah, he is literally, the power is so lovely how this is portrayed, that everything comes at him and he just kind of washes them with his hand, and the lovely like blue and the purple and all the colour. It's really clever. He's just beating everybody. Vision, at this point, it's all kind of happening and he's beating everybody, and then it kind of cuts to Vision, and the witch he basically grabs her and he says, you have to destroy the Mind Stone. And she knows damn well that she's going to kill Vision. So she's there, and she's basically, with one hand she's destroying Vision, the man that she loves, and in the other hand she's trying to deflect the power, and she does, fair play to her, she holds off Thanos at the same time. This is quite emotional. There's also a really good fight off with Captain America. He kind of rushes up to Thanos, and Thanos is having to push really hard. And for a split second, you just see the break of like Captain America and things, and it's a really clever way of like the break-in. It's like he's strong enough, but he's not. And then with one swell, like real big punch from Thanos from the other side, like a big like
off
undercut.
His non-glove hand.
Yeah, his non-glove undercut. He just swipes Captain America out like he was nothing, which is kind of scary. So nobody is strong enough to hold him down, and then he gets to the witch who's crying. She's crying and she's a bit like, oh my god, I've just killed the man I love and it's all over. She thinks she saved everything, and he's like, oh, I understand what you're going through. I've had to like go through all this loss. But, oh yeah, he's got the time stone, hasn't he? So he then reverses that moment in time. Poor Vision's alive again for about 2 seconds. He grabs the Mind Stone and just rips it out of his head, which then obviously kills Vision again.
He goes all like grey as well.
Yeah, it's really
Bad
clever.
signs.
It just, is signing off.
Yeah.
So death number 4, pre-click, death number 4, he kills Vision. He then adds that to his collection. he has a big, and he gets all powerful. He just gets
a roid rage there.
Gets a roid rage, slightly more purple. But then good old Thor, he just comes running out of nowhere, or like visiting out of nowhere. And he drives the beautiful axe and a load of like lightning through Thanos. Unfortunately, he missed a vital point, was you always take off their heads. We watch zombie films. We watch the films. You know, Freddy versus Jason. All of the baddies, take off their heads, shoot them in the heads. But no. So the poor sod, he clicks. And I tell you what, it's the most nerve-wracking sound I've ever heard in the theatre. So this then leads to the big characters. So every big character you can think of that you think like, nah, 3 or 4. No, I'm not kidding. Like, everybody starts to turn to like ash. So I was calling it evaporate. That's just me. I call it like an evaporate. But yeah, they all start turning to ash so it's quite literally half the universe. So Strange, just as Strange, back in Titan, starts to turn to ash. He then turns to Tony and says there was no other way. Easter egg. Spider-Man, it's so emotional. Spider-Man, like, he literally, Tom does so well. He literally is like, I don't want to go, I don't want to die, I don't want to die, I don't want to die. Quill's gone. Like, Chris Pratt, man. Like, he's gone. Oh, like, everybody. I think the only person that's actually left on Titan was Stark and Nebula. Everybody was gone from there. The Black Panther, he's gone. Oh, I can't even... It's easier to tell you who's left, which we will at the end. But it's really emotional. Like, you know, because obviously some are my heroes, some are your heroes. The kids behind us were like, oh my God. And I was just
to be honest, if I was watching this at home for the first time, I would have cried.
I did cry.
Because I was in the cinema and I couldn't cry in front of 12-year-olds. I didn't, but I would have done. It was brilliantly shot, brilliantly done. Very, very unpredictable to have done it. And we'll get into some of the fan theories in a moment. But yeah, for me, this was the moment in the film where you thought you had this feeling in the pit of your stomach that you probably don't have for a long time where, oh, we lost.
Yeah. And then you just get this really like... It's calm. It's like utter silence. I can't really remember if there's much music, but there's this awful like...
Dead silence.
Oh, yeah.
Dead silence.
Yeah, dead silence. Yeah, like a real... Oh, it's eerie, isn't it? It's a real eerie end scene. And Thanos wakes up after his click and he's in like a reddish orange water-like scene. And a baby, Gamora, comes over to him and kind of holds his hand and says, have you done it? Was it worth it? Like, asking all these questions, and it's very clever. And again, I'll go through like we'll go through that again. So that's a really earthy, kind of edgy, gritty scene. And then it flips again to him walking out on what looks like a countryside
porch sort of thing,
porch scene. The sun's coming over the hills. It's very idyllic, but almost like edgy and unnerving. Oh, it just freaks me out because he just literally does exactly what he says. There's a lot of dialogue that he says what he would do after. But he does exactly what he says. He sits down. The sun is rising on his face over the mountains. And he just sighs and he smiles.
And that's the end.
And that's the end. And then you get the rolling credits. And the credits are literally an obituary. So everybody that comes up, all their names come up like an obituary, which is really sad. Then, obviously, because if you're a real fan, you will stay to the bitter end. People still leave the cinema in a Marvel film. What the fuck? Just saying.
Sorry for the language there.
Sorry, but I get very upset. So, bitter end. So, your extra credit is old Samuel L. Jackson.
He nearly got it in. He nearly got his line in.
Went, Mother. Very good. Yeah, they're driving through traffic. Him and his agent, and they're driving through traffic. Obviously, people in their universe, on Earth, it's all kind of like planes are crashing, people are crashing into each other, and she starts to evaporate or turn to ash, whatever you prefer to use.
Robin from How I Met Your Mother.
Yeah, and then he does as well. He's just about to go to ash. He says "mother," but he manages to pull out what I feel looks like a galactic beaker. And who is it on there? But Captain Marvel's
logo. So yeah, and that's the end of the film. This is now the end of part 4. Join